So if you're anything like me, you love the movie Pride and Prejudice and you've watched it a million times, but somehow you've never read the book. And that's surprising because you love reading. So I personally haven't ever read it because I was scared that it was written in a year old English language and I wouldn't actually understand what's going on. But as it turns out, there is abridged versions, and I thrifted this book a couple of months ago, I think, and I've really wanted to read it, but I just couldn't find the time to do it. So in this video, I'm going to be reading my first Jane Austen book. I'm hoping this is not too far from the original. If I really like this, I might try to find the original work and try to read it in the old English language and see if I can understand anything. I don't want to do a too long of an intro because, you know what, this book is intro enough. I think everyone knows what Pride and Prejudice is about, so let's just get straight into it. I do associate Pride and Prejudice with hot beverages and especially tea. I don't know why. I think it's just like so cozy, and I don't know, I feel like they do drink a lot of tea in Pride and Prejudice, or just like those times. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, I thought, let me make myself some green tea to get myself in the reading mood. So here we are. Oh wow, that's amazing. Let's get into it. Because I got this in a charity shop, all the pages are like well yellow and like worn. They're not even worn out actually, they're just yellow. But I think that adds a little bit to the atmosphere. Okay, actually is written in like different grammar than it would be today. For example, there's like, do not you want to know who has taken it? Referring to who has let Netherfield Park. And I think that's interesting. And I hope that I can understand. I feel like my brain wants it to be written how it would be written now, but I think I just need to overcome that. So I actually need to do some chores because, yeah, it's dirty in my kitchen, so I need to clean. So I will put Pride and Prejudice on my headphones and I'm gonna listen to the audiobook and do my chores. So I actually have been listening to the audiobook while reading from my book. I did notice that there is quite a big difference between the book and the audiobook, especially during the dialogues. I think the dialogue in the audiobook, and it's probably more accurate to the original version, it's much larger, longer, more grandiose and just more impressive overall. It's much more impactful in my opinion, and we definitely do lose a lot of it in the book. Is the copy I have, which is very sad. And I noticed that there's actually some changes. For example, there was a change that Miss Bingley, sister of Mr. Bingley, was talking with Mr. Darcy, and he asked her a question, and in the audiobook she answered, and she said something about Elizabeth, he said something about Elizabeth, but in the book it just says that she didn't answer at all. So I am enjoying it, but I'm just a bit sad that I don't have the original version or a copy as close to the original version as possible. Okay, well, I went to get the book because I thought I can't do this anymore, so here we are. I've got the most similar to the original work here, and I hope it's actually good. I think I'm gonna probably reread a couple of the last chapters just to make sure I got all the conversations and all of that, and I'll see. So I have been reading this copy of Pride and Prejudice for a while, and I think I have a little bit over 100 pages left, and I'm definitely enjoying it much more than the other copy. It definitely feels fuller, and I think the words themselves just like, I don't know, seem more smart. I don't know how else to say it, but like more literary. It definitely feels more authentic to Jane Austen and her voice, and the story itself just seems more immense because of it. What I like about this copy is that at the back of the book there is a section of notes, and you can refer to that whenever there is a word that stopped getting used. So that's definitely helpful if you need help understanding a word. I'm definitely enjoying it much more now. I first want to start off by saying that I feel completely underqualified to review this book. I did not study literature or English language, and I am certain I cannot explain the impact, significance, and the true beauty of this novel. And so very many people have already reviewed this book and analyzed it very thoroughly over the course of so many years, and I definitely feel of little consequence compared to anyone. I definitely have to admit that the language was hard for me to navigate, and somehow I struggled to decipher the true meaning of what was really said, which meant I had to reread some passages, but I fully enjoyed challenging myself in that way. What I do have to say is that I think this book was, and I think always will be, the greatest piece of media literature there is. And with it being written over 200 years ago, it's so shocking to see how well it discussed the society of those times, as well as it reflected and criticized the social hierarchy. But moreover, it's written with such beautiful prose, and I think with a certain distance that gives it a certain humor and specifically wit. I think this book is such a witty piece of media. I don't know how to explain it. The humor is very specific and very sarcastic, definitely. And you have to work to really understand the humor in it. The character of Elizabeth Bennet, I also think, is just so perfectly written, because although she is very intelligent, curious, confident, she is definitely not without fault, and that makes her so much more human and so much more relatable. And I just think the characters themselves, like all of them, were such complete creatures, and it was so beautiful to witness. All that being said, I did rate this book 5 stars. I don't think you can really rate it anything below a 4, and yeah. I think there isn't anything more I can really say about this book that will add anything to the discourse. What I also enjoyed about my copy is that there is a slight analysis at the beginning, so I definitely will be reading that after a while. I need to give myself a break. It was definitely, like I said before, a challenge to get through it, but I definitely really enjoyed it. And if you haven't read Pride and Prejudice but you love the movie or the series, definitely give it a go, especially if you like the Regency era and those times. What I want to also say is not like any other romance book. I don't think this can really be classified as just a romance book. It just touches on so many different topics. I think it would be doing it a disservice to say this is just a pure romance book, because it definitely isn't. Picking up this book was honestly one of my greatest decisions, and I will definitely be picking up more classics in the future. I definitely want to educate myself on all the pieces of media literature that have been really regarded in the past. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I am so glad I made this, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye!